Steven Soderbergh is back. Well, I mean, he's back making movies.
Country roads take me home to the place I belong.
Logan Lucky is directed by Steven Soderbergh and is starring Channing Tatum, Adam Driver, Daniel Craig, and Riley Keough. Before I go any further, I just want to say there will not be any plot spoilers in this review. This is a heist movie centered around the character of Jimmy Logan, portrayed by Channing Tatum. He and his brother Clyde, portrayed by Adam Driver, decide they are going to perform a robbery, a big-time robbery at the Charlotte Motor Speedway during a very large NASCAR event. And in doing so, they need to enlist the help of Joe Bang, a character portrayed by Daniel Craig. Like I said during my intro, Steven Soderbergh is back making movies. He took about a 4-year hiatus. He was fed up with the whole Hollywood distribution system, and he decided he was going to just retire from making movies and concentrate on other projects like his television show The Nick, as well as doing various other things. But now he is back directing a movie, and I am so excited because Steven Soderbergh is one of my favorite directors of all time. He's been very much an inspiration for me. He is part of that entire generation of American indie filmmakers who all made their kind of a rise in the 1990s. You know, Quentin Tarantino, Kevin Smith, Robert Rodriguez, that whole generation of filmmakers. And I have to say, Logan Lucky is a strong return for him. It is something that is very much in his wheelhouse. If you are familiar with this film, Ocean's 11, you get that very similar vibe in this movie. And I think that while a lot of people will compare the two films, I think this one is different enough that you can judge it by itself. I prefer to judge films based on their own merits and not compare them to other films. But Logan Lucky is a very sleek, very quirky comedy of a heist film, and what I really like about this film is how smooth everything is. Steven Soderbergh is a seasoned veteran when it comes to making movies, so everything in the film really comes together rather well. The cinematography is very good, the acting is very good, the film is rather short, but it's also very concise. Every scene in this film matters. There's no really fat in this film at all, and also the comedy I found to be really good. Granted, comedy is very subjective. You know, what is funny to one person may not be funny to another, but I found that most of the comedy in this film hit. Especially the character of Joe Bang, portrayed by Daniel Craig, I think is a standout in this film. Daniel Craig is having the time of his life just playing this character over the top, but really always in control as well. It's a very unique and very different performance from him. Channing Tatum is the anchor of this film. The plot kind of revolves around him, and he very much carries the film, even though it's more of an ensemble. Adam Driver is a very solid actor who has arisen in the last few years, being in several really good films and really showing his acting prowess. His comedic performance in this film is much more somber than some of the others. His portion of the film is very dialogue heavy, and I really like his character in this film. Like I mentioned, the overall plot pacing in this film I think is very good. It moves very quickly, and it's a nice film to kind of sit back, relax, and watch, but also keep your mind engaged as well, because there are a lot of moving parts in this film, very similar to most heist films. But while I enjoyed the film overall, there are a few problems I do have with it. Unfortunately, I don't really feel an emotional attachment to really much of the story or its characters. There is an emotional core of this film centered around Channing Tatum and his relationship with his daughter, but that is really mired or overtaken by the rest of the plot of this film, and that's really not explored enough for me to really have an emotional reaction to that, when I think the film kind of relies on it in the third act. Also, I don't really feel the motivation behind why they're doing what they're doing. Yes, Channing Tatum is a character who loses his construction job, but there's never really a necessary need as to why he needs this money, as to why he is doing what he is doing, why he's trying to pull off this massive heist. It kind of bothered me because it just feels like he was doing it just to see if he could actually do it. Also, in the third act of the film, there is a tonal shift. The film kind of changes perspective. It switches from a heist movie more to an investigative film, and I found that it almost felt like a completely different movie. I'm going to give this film a 3.7 out of 5 stars. Strong direction, strong acting, and an overall fun film to watch. This has been my review of Logan Lucky. If you like this video, please check out the other videos on my channel.